You show up, say that you're putting this to bed, and you're fucking getting on with it. Frost just tweets on his account with like 3,000 followers. Who gives a fuck? That, you know, let's put this to bed. Then this video comes out. So presumably, an attempt by 100 Thieves to exonerate themselves, to make themselves look really good, essentially leveraging their social media following without explicitly doing so. Definitely trying to curry some favor and drum up some response from their rabid fan base. And many accusations have been made about 100 Thieves fans. Some of them are true in terms of their lack of ability to conduct critical thinking. Then it comes out that, okay, this clip doesn't actually have the full conversation, but 100 Thieves statement was based on this video because they say that's the only time that this was threatened, and we disagree with that. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to, you know, go, okay, we're going to move on with this and then try and stoke this up again. Yeah. All right. Let's keep moving here. We got something to, obviously that we touched on last week, and I made my reactions to it. And I worried that I may have been out of pocket and may have had the wrong idea about the way I reacted. But no, it turns out I was exactly fucking right. So obviously last week, there was a little bit, it came to light. There was some furor about the 100 Thieves situation. I'll paraphrase this for you. 100 Thieves delayed the start of the upper bracket quarterfinals by an hour because of what they perceived to be sort of unfairness in terms of service selection. Obviously the allegation is that Frost, not to be confused with Frosty, the bloke who got nade shot to tattoo his neck, Frost obviously demonstrated unprofessional behavior towards a tournament official. They got fined $5,000 and Frost was on probation, which basically is a slap on the wrist and a really quite a small fine for 100 Thieves who wipe their asses with $100 bills, but that's beside the point. So that's what comes out. 100 Thieves respond to this. They didn't like, obviously, their name being dragged through the ground. So first of all, we disagree with Riot's competitive ruling against our head coach, and we disagree with their release and mischaracterization of the incident after they, quote unquote, complied. After a fucking hour, guys. An hour. A minor competitive matter. I mean, you delayed it for an hour. So, you know,
we saw Masters. We saw the fail. It was law.
Their issue obviously is that against TSM, basically a tournament organizer it was a decision that ultimately ended up favoring TSM. And 100 Thieves, you know, went along with that. I guess they feel like now what happened in the IMT match is that the decision actually went the other way, still favoring their opponents. So here's what's really important. This is official communication from an esports organization. As the situation escalated, Frost told tournament organizers, if you DC us, you're in a bigger shitstorm than we are, right? We know this happened. That was on the recording that released, but never threatened to leverage social media as was stated by Riot. We were arguing for competitive integrity, yada, yada. We're standing up for our players. Down the bottom, this is the important part. We plan to pay our fine and move on from this matter. We feel like coach was fighting for our players. We're moving forward. We're focusing on the game. And then what do? They fucking release this video. Listen up.
Yeah. So like, let's just wait. Why are they not just talking?
There now.
Oh, okay.
But it has to apply in the exact same way, Joseph. You can't just arbitrarily change the rules. And if you're going to do that, then we can fight back by just literally not playing. And if you DC against us, or if you give us a DC, you're in a bigger shitstorm than we are. The fact of the matter is, you made a decision in a ruling for TSM. And now, that for TSM is being changed arbitrarily. You can't just say the ping difference is a moot point if it's 0.3 as opposed to what, 3.1 like last time? Because in networking, 3.1 doesn't mean anything either.
Wait, the guy that talks.
Right, and they have a guy at 8 ping.
Yeah,
what about the 8 ping versus 40?
It's like 30, 40.
No, they're not. It's the same. One has a crazy peeker's advantage, and the other one has it working against him. What do you mean? That doesn't, like, having 8 ping, there is a huge difference with 8 ping compared to 44, by the way. On every game. It's worse in this game than it is, let's say, Rocket League, so if your argument is that, then sure. I mean, we can argue semantics there, but not in a shooting game. The peeker's advantage is a thing. And Riot has also said it's a thing, and they are aware that it's a thing, and they publicly have stated this. So if you're going to say 70 ping is like a big, massive deal, then you should also, at the same time, acknowledge that 8 ping is also a 41 huge is different than 30.
Okay, so let's just do this. First of all, this comes after 100 Thieves publicly state that they are moving on, they're complying with the directives, they're paying the fine, and they're focusing on the game. Yeah, really? Doesn't look like that to me. I don't know who approved this, and this dragged out the conversation. So, it's important to recognize that there is a valid grievance that is actually being brought up by Frost there. It's that the difference between 70 and 40 ping is nowhere near as great as the difference between 8 and 40 ping, right? You cannot eliminate ping's advantage. It is baked into the game. It is by definition, it is a thing. So, we sort of understand that, Frost has an issue with this, and, I think he would much rather, have players on higher ping than have to deal with opponents on particularly low ping. I think it was, I don't know who it was. It doesn't matter who. The thing is that 100 Thieves, they're trying to live their fucking their fairy tale mansion dream out in LA. All right, they are positioned on the West Coast, which is pretty tough actually when you're when you're trying to play against people on the East Coast or in Central. What I think it's very clear that there needs to probably be another server location in Colorado to give them maybe a slightly more sort of proximate choice when they're playing against opponents from the East Coast or whatever. And he's right. Frost is right in saying that there is a big difference in dealing with someone with extremely low ping like that, and it can cause an advantage. Now, I can also understand if they're annoyed if this decision went away from them previously. Obviously, consistency in enforcing these policies is something that needs to be there, because if you're 100 Thieves, you're going to get mad. And Frost is correct. They can refuse to play. They can refuse to play. But if you refuse to play, you have to take the risk that you can be disqualified. So what he was basically saying is that we can hold you hostage, but you can't disqualify us, because then you'll be in the shit. Now, 100 Thieves make a statement that says, we don't believe that we leverage our social media. There's another statement that comes out from Riot that elucidates this situation just a little bit more. Crucially, this edit makes here. So obviously, Frost threatened to leverage players' social media. That's the allegation, right? So at 6:30 p.m., 3 independent witnesses provided testimony that Frost made a statement to that effect, to the effect of leveraging players' social media platforms. When asked directly about it in an interview by Riot League operations personnel, Frost admitted that he made this statement. Although 100 Thieves provided Riot with a clip showing Frost's side of the conversation that does not include this statement, they declined to provide the full video to Riot.
Come on.
So first of all, you show up, say that you're putting this to bed, and you're fucking getting on with it. Frost just tweets on his account with like 3,000 followers. Who gives a fuck? That, let's put this to bed. Then this video comes out. So presumably, an attempt by 100 Thieves to exonerate themselves, to make themselves look really good, essentially leveraging their social media following without explicitly doing so, definitely trying to curry some favor and drum up some response from their rabid fan base. And many accusations have been made about 100 Thieves fans. Some of them are true in terms of their lack of ability to conduct critical thinking. Then it comes out that, okay, this clip doesn't actually have the full conversation, but 100 Thieves' statement was based on this video, because they say that's the only time that this was threatened, and we disagree with that. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to, go, okay, we're going to move on with this and then try and stoke this up again. And Frost admits that he actually made a direct threat. This was just cut out to make them look a little bit better. If this isn't trying to leverage your social media to make you look good and by contrast, the other party look bad, then I don't know what is. Yeah, the grievance is valid. It's valid. I called Frost a dickhead when I heard that this happened. I didn't even have the full information. There was a world where I could have been wrong, but now I know that I was right.
Well, what do you even say? I mean, the first
More
thing
servers.
they leveraged social media against Riot. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. Who the fuck am I to argue that the ping thing? I'm not in the room. I'm not looking at the pings, but we are playing online in the world where a fucking pandemic is forcing us to do this. So, I get it. But also at the same time, we got to remember one thing. This is coming from someone like Uber that speaks his mind very fucking loudly to all these fucking corporations. I do it. I put myself in the fire all the fucking time. Just don't threaten them. Like you have teammates that you're responsible for as well. You're not
I think that they just got sucked into like this whole. I think when you're a part of 100 Thieves, you probably just spend all day telling each other that you're invincible, that you're at the top of the game. Like these guys, like I've never seen people gas each other up like the 100 Thieves guys do. Like it's great. The culture seems really fun. But that seems like you're detached from reality if you think that you can respond like that in that situation by going, well, fuck you, we're too big to fail. You know, like, you know, you're going to do what we say
Hey.
or there's going to be problems for you. I think like no one's saying that the grievance is unreasonable. It's perfectly reasonable. It's also an unfortunate side effect of this pandemic situation. Maybe the ruling could have been made better or with more consistency.
Well,
why did it have to go that way? You know, but
no, we should be
I don't know
saying.
Frost. I don't know this guy. But I don't exactly hear glowing reviews from literally anyone about him. No one. I have not heard good things about this guy. You know what I mean? And that doesn't paint a great picture combined with that. Now, I think so. Very quickly, Vans, we're going to give you a chance to talk, but obviously,
I don't need to.
At some point in that video, Gunva comes into the channel. By the way, Gunva, Australian as fuck, doesn't have a lot of tact either. He's a bit robotic as a guy. I would not say he's not the most empathetic, the most feeling, the most, maybe not even the most patient guy. He's drier than the Sahara. So he's obviously got into this channel and called Frost. Frost is just, the indignation on Frost is just incredible. I get called all manner of things and I can handle it. I don't get upset, but Frost just, you look at him blow up like a fucking pufferfish when he gets told to shut up. And tries to go for the who are you? Who do you think you are? It's like, okay, like, Jesus Christ. Just the whole situation is an absolute fuckfest.
I just think that the rule book already had.
Yes,
like,
you muted, man.
You're muted, Vans. You're muted.
Maybe I'm too angry. No, I'm not angry at all. No, I think just the rule book itself says that there's 2 servers that are originally picked whenever you get into this lobby right now, right? And then you have to choose either or. So at that point, if it didn't work out that they didn't want to play on the one that gave shot up 8 ping, then you have to choose the other one. But if the other one is still a disadvantage, you still have to choose one or the other. I don't think that you should admit or try to fight for a 3rd server to get into it, because at that point the T already chose something. And that whole delay for them to just say, hey, let's bring in somebody officially from Riot, basically to repeat what Josie was saying, and then finally they're like, okay, we'll just go with whatever you guys choose. That was mishandled at that point, right?
The damage done to the show was hard.
What was the other option? Like, what server should they?
Fuck, I couldn't remember anymore. I think it was like an Illinois server and a Georgia server.
Texas and Illinois.
Yeah, something like that. It was
Georgia.
Yeah, something like that.
None of them are good for them. They're on the fucking West Coast.
Yeah,
it's gonna suck no matter what.
They wanted Texas, so I think 100 Thieves wanted Texas because everybody else would have an more even ping overall. But then, for Immortals' point of view, is that Chemicals would then go up to like a 70 or an 80 ping. So no matter what server that you choose, it's a lose-lose no matter what for either side.
I see
right?
it now.
So now that was the whole issue behind that, I think, from my understanding of reading through all this. So in the end, whenever you need a Riot official to come in to repeat whatever Josie was saying to them before from a TO's perspective, that was mishandled from 100 Thieves' point to like really want to like boycott the delay of the match. So I think that was a poor play from 100 Thieves. But I do respect from Frost's perspective that he wants to protect his players and also trying to bring that into his side to try to win for the team. So nobody has a problem with that portion. I think overall it's like kind of like everybody kind of lost overall in the end, where I think
we all lost, all of us.
Yeah, what you take away from it is that we kind of want to bring more servers into it, where it's going to help out in this ping issue for these West Coast versus Central and West Coast versus East Coast. So.
One thing I will say, and this is the only thing I have to say on the topic, like, you know, shout out to Frost for fighting for his teammates as well. I mean, hey, and also the biggest point that we need to do, shout out to Riot. I've seen TOs bow down before orgs and just spread it wide and just let the orgs have their way just because they were just scared of them.
It's happened in Counter-Strike for years.
Oh, it happened in Gears of War too, man, in a really bad way. It's never hit the light of day. And it's like, yo, it lets me know that Riot doesn't fuck around and just get bent over by these other orgs, and that's a good feeling. You know, they fight back. So
it's nice.
It's nice and same with Frost on the flip side. Shit. If I got a coach that pops off like that for me, I want Frost too, man. Right or wrong. He wants my ping to be good, baby. So
you know what? I want a coach that'll fight for me, but I want a coach that can fight for me with some sense of integrity, or at least be decent.
That as well.
I would prefer that.
That as well.
I wouldn't feel good about being a part of an org and then my coach being like, "I don't worry, we'll throw our weight around. We'll get what we want because we'll."
But you know what? That's maturity that we all grow and learn. So at the end of the day, you know what? Frost is gonna learn from this. My man's gonna be all right.